Hi everyone, my name is Abhinav and welcome to my channel Abhi Experiences. In this video, I would like to share my experiences traveling from India to Canada via a third country, Serbia. I will try to touch on as many aspects of the journey as possible. My intention here is not just to help stranded Indians to reach Canada, but also I would like them to have fun in the process. My experience traveling via Serbia was not just fun, it was in fact even better than traveling directly from India to Canada. Now, let me walk through the entire process of my travel. So, just to give a small background, I am a work permit holder in Canada and I've spent about 2 years working in Canada. Now, I'm currently spending my time quarantining at a hotel in Toronto. Uh, So this video would be directly suitable for other work permit holders because I myself am a work permit holder. But nevertheless, requirements would be pretty similar for study permit holders or Canadian PRs or Canadian citizens as well who are traveling from India. And please note that this video is made purely for informational purposes, subject to the current rules and regulations of the countries that I've visited. These regulations could change at any point in time. No liabilities or damages shall take place because of this content. No legal advice is being given here, and please consult appropriate authorities wherever possible in case of any queries. So let me quickly share my screen to show you my itinerary. So this was my itinerary. So to give a small high-level overview of my itinerary, so on June 13th, I traveled from Bangalore to Belgrade. I spent 4 days in Belgrade staying at my friend's place. And on June 17th, early in the morning at Belgrade, I traveled from Belgrade to Toronto. So I've split the entire video into two sections. So first, I'll explain the first leg of my journey, which is from Bangalore to Belgrade. Next, I'll be explaining the stay in Belgrade. And later, as a third part of the video, I'll be explaining the second part of my journey, which is from Belgrade to Toronto. So in the first leg of my journey, I traveled from Bangalore to Frankfurt first and had a layover of about 12 hours and 10 minutes in Frankfurt, and later had a flight from Frankfurt to Belgrade via Lufthansa. So the entire journey was booked via Lufthansa for me, and I'll also tell the reason why I booked just Lufthansa for the entire journey. Uh, so there have been a lot of questions being asked about layover in Frankfurt and also if we need a transit visa in Frankfurt. So I assume the people who are watching this video are either work permit or study permit holders from Canada. So even while there is a 12-hour layover in Frankfurt, there is no need to obtain a transit visa in Germany as you are a Canadian visa holder, either a study permit holder or a work permit holder. And with a valid Canadian visa, either study permit or work permit, you can transit up to 24 hours in Frankfurt airport without the requirement of a transit visa. So I hope this clarifies the doubts regarding if we need a transit visa to transit via Frankfurt. And I'm not telling this without proof. And here is a small screenshot of the proof. Exceptions from the requirement to hold an airport transit visa are, if you see the final point here, holders of valid visa from the EEA countries and visas issued by Japan, Canada, and the USA. So since the people who are watching this video are more likely to be uh, visa holders of Canada, like you don't need a transit visa from Frankfurt. And here are two references that you can look forward to in case of any queries. So that was the first leg of my journey's itinerary. So the second itinerary of my journey was from Belgrade to Toronto. Uh, so even while traveling from Belgrade to Toronto, I had to transit via Frankfurt. So this time I had to stay in Frankfurt for 6 hours and then transit to Toronto. Now, I was telling earlier that I booked the entire journey via Lufthansa, and there is a reason for that. So I selected Lufthansa as my airlines for booking my entire travel. The reason behind this is that it will have a standard luggage allowance throughout the entire journey, and you can be hassle free and not think about whether you will have to discard luggage at your transit location or not. So let me give you an example. Sometimes I've heard people booking Lufthansa for their first journey and booking some other airlines for the next journey. So in these scenarios, sometimes people had to leave some of their luggage behind because of different luggage allowances in both the airlines. So to avoid all these sort of hassles, I booked just one airline's Lufthansa, which is pretty reliable in this sense. And you can have the option of carrying two standard baggages of 23 kgs or one baggage. Like the price will differ, that's it, but you will be able to carry it throughout the entire journey. And what was the cost of the trip? So I booked my ticket on June 10th, and here is a breakdown of the cost in the screenshot. So the ticket from Bangalore to Serbia was 45,000 rupees, and the ticket from Serbia to Toronto was 54,000 rupees, and the total ticket cost was approximately 99,000 Indian rupees. And this ticket includes the price for one check-in baggage of 23 kgs, one hand luggage of 8 kgs, and one personal item, either a laptop or a handbag. So if you want to carry two check-in baggages, you will have to inquire with Lufthansa as to how you can carry that, and probably pay 15,000 INR extra at the check-in counter in order to carry an extra luggage. Like, you will have to call Lufthansa for this purpose. And what else did I do before boarding from Bangalore? So I also pre-booked my COVID test online for Belgrade. So it becomes very easy if you pre-register your COVID test in Belgrade using the below link, using this link I've attached here. So don't worry, I will be providing this entire document to you in the description of my video, and you can have a look at these links in person. So when you pre-register your COVID test using this link, you will be obtaining a QR code and also a payment slip, which you can download as PDF files. I suggest you to take a printout of the payment slip and also the QR code, uh, and go to the nearest post office in Serbia and pay for the COVID test. So I booked my COVID test at the Belgrade City Institute for Public Health. That's a renowned institute in Serbia, also a public institute. And my experience over there was really good. So I boarded a bus from my home and reached the destination within 20 minutes. A person at the center there verified if I had pre-registered for the test or not. And since I had pre-registered, he let me in to give the swab. And this is one of the main reason why it is important for you to pre-register on the website which I've indicated above. Like, if I hadn't pre-registered for the test, I wouldn't be able to give the swab test on that day at that institute. So it is pretty important that you pre-register. And that was regarding my COVID test in Belgrade. So what else do you have to take care of before you board your flight from India? So make sure that you pre-book your hotel stay in Belgrade. So currently, Belgrade is not having any quarantining requirements. So there are two options available for you. Either you can book a hotel in Belgrade for 1 or 2 days and take a printout of your booking, or you can stay at your friend's place and get an email confirmation from your friend indicating that you can stay at his place, and also get a printout of your friend's passport copy, because that's pretty important, which they are going to ask at the check-in counter when you check in from your place of origin in India. So what happened to me was I stayed at my friend's location in Belgrade. So I had to get an email confirmation from my friend inviting me and also his passport copy. And what else do you have to do before you leave India? You will have to pre-book your hotel stay in Canada once you reach your final destination, either Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver. You can use the below link to book your hotel stay. Again, I will be sharing this document in the link in the description below. So just to give you a high level flavor of what my costs were in booking my hotel stay in Canada. So the room cost for 3 nights was approximately 885 Canadian dollars, and the total taxes came out to be 155 Canadian dollars. So the total cost of booking my hotel for 3 days uh, on arrival in Canada was 1040 Canadian dollars. So let me first talk about the first half of my journey, that is my travel from Bangalore to Serbia via Frankfurt. So what documents did I take? So I took a proof of RT-PCR test taken 48 hours prior to arrival. So since I am transiting via Frankfurt, I had to meet the 48-hour restrictions. Like I had to take a RT-PCR test 48 hours prior to arrival in Germany. So I booked my COVID test using 1mg app on my phone. It's at least available for people in Bangalore. I'm not sure about other cities in India, but make sure you have an RT-PCR test done 48 hours prior to your arrival. And the next document they ask for is the work permit. Uh, in case of study permit holders, they might ask for your study permit and also your letter of acceptance. So please have that handy and do take a printout of them, which comes in very handy instead of showing emails. And the third main important thing they asked me was proof of funds to stay in Serbia. So Serbia requires you to show 50 US dollars per day for the number of days you stay in Serbia. For example, if you stay for 4 days in Serbia, you will have to show minimum balance of 200 US dollars. So I highly request you to take a screenshot or printout of your bank statement to show this. And during the first part of my journey, what were the different questions asked at different airports? Let me talk about that. So the questions asked at Bangalore airport were, where are you traveling and why exactly are you traveling? So do give an explanation. So I had to say, I'm traveling because I'm a work permit holder and my main livelihood is in Canada because I work there. And they asked me to show my work permit and also my hotel reservation in Serbia. But since I was staying in my friend's place, I just showed a confirmation from my friend and they asked for proof of funds. And I transited via Frankfurt airport and they did ask a few things at the Frankfurt airport as well. So they asked me to show the RT-PCR test just to make sure that it's valid to enter into Frankfurt. And also they asked me to show the digital entry of registration. But for people like us who are just transiting via Frankfurt, the digital entry of registration is optional, but it's always good to have and good to complete the digital entry of registration for Germany. And the link used to complete your digital entry of registration is given here. Uh, you can just go there, fill in your information, and just submit, and you would get a PDF file which you can then download and take a print of. And finally, at the Belgrade airport on arrival, they asked, why are you coming to Belgrade and not directly to Toronto? So do be prepared to give an explanation to them. By now, they might have already seen a lot of Indians going to Belgrade, so that might not be an issue. But in case they ask this question, do have a good story to tell. I mean, not the story, the real facts, saying that Canada is currently not allowing direct flights from India, and therefore you're passing through Serbia. And they would also ask you how long you're planning to stay in Serbia and where are you going to stay. So do show proof of where you'll be staying, and do show your onward ticket to Toronto. So that will give them a confirmation that you're going to stay for X number of days. And some of the important takeaways that I took from my first half of my journey was, at Bangalore airport, Lufthansa did not allow me to board unless I showed a proof of funds. So I did not know that proof of funds was very necessary. So I even forgot my password to log into my bank account. So it was a hassle to go through that and then get it on my mobile and then show it to them. So do have this in advance and show it to them. Uh, and even if one of the documents is missing, you might not be allowed to board into the plane. So definitely do keep this in mind. So now I've completed the first half of my journey, and let's say I'm in Serbia right now. So let me tell you what I did after I landed in Serbia. So I went to my friend's place after I landed in Serbia, and the first thing I concentrated was to get my RT-PCR test done there, because that is the main reason why you're coming to Serbia in the first place. So having already pre-registered using the above link I showed in the document, I had a payment slip and also a QR code ready. So I took the payment slip and the QR code and went to the nearest post office along with my passport, and also carried a cash of 9,100 RSD, which is the local currency there, Serbian dinar. So the cost of the RT-PCR test is actually 9,000 RSD, but just to be on the safer side, do carry a little bit more than that. Do carry 100 to 200 RSDs more than 9,000 RSDs. So let's say you do not have RSDs in hand, it's still not an issue as long as you have USD cash or multi-currency card with you. So there are these offices called Menjaknika offices. It should be pronounced as Mayaknika because J is pronounced as Y over there. So go to these Menjaknika offices. It is there all around Belgrade, and these are currency exchange offices, and there you can get your currency converted from either euros or USD to Serbian dinar RSD. So once you have your 9,100 RSD in hand and your payment slip and passport, do go to the post office. You go to the post office, you pay 9,100 RSD, you will get your payment receipt stamped. And once you get your payment receipt stamped, then you can go to your test center at your registered time with your stamped payment receipt and give your swab test. The process is extremely simple, provided you already pre-register and also carry Serbian dinar as hard currency cash with you. So the process just takes 6 to 7 hours to get your RT-PCR result done. So once you give your RT-PCR swab, it will take only about 6 to 7 hours to get the result in both English and Serbian into your registered email ID. So the process was as simple as that. So once I got my RT-PCR test done, then you can take some time to tour around Belgrade. I highly suggest you to tour around Belgrade because Belgrade is probably not the most visited country or city. So please do take the time. I was so fascinated by seeing the European architecture and several other buildings and streets and places in Belgrade, and I highly recommend you to do the same. So some of the places that are worth visiting, and some of the places I have visited during my 3 day stay at Belgrade were Republic Square, Kalmegadon Fortress, Skardalija. So Skardalija is one of the famous streets full of hotels. Like it's a very fancy, not a fancy, like very old style pebblestone street. And you can go to Nikola Tesla Museum, Nez Mihailova, that's another shopping street. And you can also go to Temple of Saint Sava. And not just this, there are several other destinations to tour around Belgrade. So do have a look at that. And I derived my inspiration uh, from the below blog, which I've again attached in the document and which I'll be attaching in the description. So these places, even though it might seem too many of these places, it can be easily visited in 1 or 2 days because all of them are pretty close. Uh, and I will tell you what is the best way to commute in Belgrade. So the easiest and the least expensive way to commute in Belgrade is by using public transport. So there are buses and there are a lot of trams going in and around Belgrade at very high frequencies. So you can go to these shops called Moi Kiosk. It will be written as Moj kiosks. So they are present all around Serbia and definitely all around Belgrade. So you can purchase a bus card and also a prepaid SIM card. So what I did is I purchased the bus card which was worth 250 RSD and I recharged it with 300 RSD. So in Belgrade, one bus ticket is equal to 89 RSD. And with one ticket, you can actually travel for up to 2 hours. So uh, yeah, once I got the bus card, I also got a prepaid SIM card, which is for 300 RSD. So the main reason why I got even a prepaid SIM card was, first of all, it's not that expensive, and secondly, I can use an internet pack when I'm outside of Belgrade, outside of my apartment, to obtain directions to tourist destination when I'm using Google Maps. So when I use Netpack, I can see from this place to this place. I can travel on this bus, which comes at this time, and so on. So for that, a prepaid SIM card will be very helpful, and it's very cheap, and you can definitely afford it. And I highly recommend you to get one. So I got a Telenor prepaid SIM card. So Telenor is a telecom provider there, and with that you get 5 GB free for 7 days for 300 RSD, which is a great offer and is very useful for commuting in Serbia. And the My Kiosk shops are like the one shown below here. It will be red in color with the Moj Kiosk written there, like it is there throughout Belgrade. So you can find it literally in every nook and corner. Yeah. So that being said, so what was the total cost that I incurred in Serbia? So I stayed at my friend's place for 3 days, and hence I did not incur any hotel charges in Serbia. However, I did incur several other charges. So RT-PCR test costed about 9,090 RSD. Shopping, I did some shopping there worth 2,600 RSD. Bus plus SIM card was 800, and I went for even some movies. So they've opened up many things in Serbia, and one of them is movie theaters. I highly recommend you to watch movies there because once you come to Canada, you might not be able to watch for some time. And the taxi travel there is pretty expensive, and it costed 2,000 RSD for one-way travel from airport to my home, to my friend's home. And instead, if I would have taken a bus, I would have just incurred 89 RSD in opposed to 2000 RSD when I take a taxi. So you can see how effective bus is. And bus travels from airport, I think every 1 hour or half an hour. You might have to verify that. Okay, so that was all about my stay in Serbia and the places I visited there and how to commute there. So now let me talk about the second half of my journey, which was from Belgrade to Frankfurt to Toronto. So I transited through Frankfurt, and I stayed in Frankfurt for 6 hours during my second journey. And these were the different questions asked at different airports. So when I was trying to board in Belgrade, they were asking what was my final destination. They asked me to show my work permit and work visa. And they also told me to show my RT-PCR test there. And I also showed my ArriveCAN booking. So I filled up stuff on ArriveCAN once I landed in Serbia. So you can book only within 72 hours of landing in Toronto. And I also had to show my hotel reservation in Toronto when I started to board in Belgrade. So these were pretty much the same questions that they asked to me in both Frankfurt, which was my layover spot, and also when I finally landed in Toronto on 17th. And I would also like to mention some of the important takeaways. So please register with Switch Health in advance, as it can save a lot of time when you arrive at Toronto International Airport. Not just yeah, this is pertaining to Toronto International Airport, but if you are landing at any other airport, do register in advance with the health provider there, which does the COVID testing. This is used for post-arrival COVID testing at the airport. So link for registering with Switch Health is provided here in the document. I'll be sharing this. And second important takeaway is that please convert all your Serbian dinars into either USD or European euros before reaching the Belgrade airport itself, because it will not be used anywhere after that. Like you might most probably be using European euros or USD and not really Serbian dinar. So please do the conversion before going to the Belgrade airport itself. And also, while booking your hotel stay in Toronto, please make sure you get a refund in case you're not able to stay for entirety of 3 days. So normally when you book a hotel reservation in Toronto, you'll be booking for 3 days. But for me, what happened is I gave my test on 17th later in the evening at around 4:30 p.m. and I got it within the next day, within 24 hours. So I need not technically stay for the rest 2 more days, but the hotel did not give me a refund. So make sure you try to book a hotel where things are refundable if possible. I'm not really sure if it's possible or not. So do check that and do book appropriately. So yes, this comes with this. I come to the uh, end of my video. So if you perform these activities without missing any of them, you can easily travel from India to Toronto without any hassles and also have a lot of fun in Serbia. I highly recommend that because this is COVID. Everybody has been stuck at home most of the time. It will be a break from getting stuck at home and you will definitely enjoy it. Trust me on that. And whatever I've said in this video are subject to current rules and regulations, which might definitely change in the future. So I take no such responsibility of such changes. And please don't hold me accountable for any such changes too. And if you really like this video and if you found it informative, please do give a like and please subscribe to my channel. And also give your comments. I will try to answer them as fast as possible and with as much detail as possible in my spare time. Thank you for listening to me and have a nice day.